Hello, it's me, Brian. Today we're going to take the top end off of the block right here. It's three pieces. You got the cap right here, right? Then you got the cylinder head, then you got the barrels. Right, that's the whole upper end of the motor right there. Right, where you got to start is right here. Right, timing cover. Right, saying you got to take these two covers off. So that's where we're at right now. This thing hasn't been apart in a while, so. There we go. Now you gotta take out the inner cam seal housing thing. Yeah. That's why I use the long screwdrivers to get a little bit more leverage. Oh, that one was so bad. There's one more screw right here at the top. These little thrust washers here, right? You need to replace them because they're designed to crush into the thing, right? Keep a tight seal. Well, I mean, these things are cheap. I mean, you get like 1,000,000 of them for 80 cents, right? Yeah, these little thrust washers. Take your trusty, dead blow hammer. Alright, be careful because there is a seal right here. Alright. Oh, it's under the gasket right there. That seal's not too bad. Yeah, it's not too bad. Same thing on the other side. Thrust washers. Alright, from reading the manual, the repair manual and stuff, and some other comments on some forums, alright, it's saying that all of the washers, the thrust washers in the top end of this machine, of this engine right here, are important. Right, they need to be replaced, right, and then, you know what I'm saying, when you're replacing them, you need to make sure that you line them up in the correct spots where they go, right, because they are an important component in the torque specs of the top end of this engine. Alright, so be mindful of that. Alright. Give it a little tap with the old yellow hammer. There we go. Look, still got a little bit of oil in the top. Okay. That thing, yeah, surface is pretty clean. The gas can't clean up. Alrighty then. Now, the next step is to take the oil feeder tube off. Alright. It's probably a better idea to loosen it here before you untorque it here. So let's get set up for that. Okay, so both of these bolts right here are 22 millimeter. Alright, I only have one, so alright. You want to spin it till you can spin with your finger tight. Alright. Get the top fitting on. Okay. These two banjo bolts are the next. Right here, 17 millimeters. Alright. Now, there's a pair of copper thrust washers right in between the banjo, in the fitting, in between the fitting and the top and the bottom of the banjo bolt. You want to be mindful. These washers are important. Alright. Right. Here. This one for that side. Let's see, that's this one. And this one for this side. That's this one. Alright. Cover. The cam cover bolts is these four right here. Now they look like to be about 12 millimeter. Alright. Okay, now that loosens this cover, right, from the cylinder head. Because remember, cylinder's two pieces, the cover, cylinder head. Right, so. Okay, so the next thing we need to do is take the tappet covers off. Alright. There's the crazy part. This one's got 4. All the rest of them got 3. It's a good thing that the covers, both the covers are a matching mark, because I was gonna recommend that you stamp them anyway, 1 and 2. So let's see what this magic bag holds. You know, having a little special little, you know, something kind of a tool around is kind of handy sometimes. There we go. That was a little sticky. Ooh, a little dirty, a little corrody. Or is that just, nope, somebody used silicone to try to seal. It looks pretty clean, I mean, so far. The valves that I can see in the tappet arms. The history of this motor is that for some reason it won't kick through. And somebody said to somebody else, you're saying that they thought that the number 2 piston was seized in the hole. I think I told this story before. Alright, but anyways, you understand, when, you know, Brian got to messing around with it, right, you know, I pulled the plug, first thing I did was pull the spark plug out of number 2 hole. At the bottom of the spark plug where the electrode is, right, there was just a little bit of rust. There's still some oil, there's still some oil in the top end. There was a little bit of rust on the end of the spark plug. Right, so, you understand, Brian being Brian, thinking, you know what I'm saying, it's been laying over there in the dirt for God knows how long. I don't even know if there's any oil in it. Apparently there's a little bit. You understand, the top end's got some on it. You know, and you know, there was no intake on it. There was no exhaust. You know, the exhaust pipe was on it, but there was no intake. Right, water could have easily seeped down, and everybody knows water's going to find its way to the bottom, no matter how tight the seal is. So it could be some rust in there, you know, rust in the rings to the cylinder wall. We don't know. Right? We don't know if the cam chain tensioner fell down in there and freaking got scraped, which is another common problem with this type of engine. Because the cam chain runs over like this down. It's got these 2 guides that run in like this. Is this black rubber plastic thing that guides them down to the bottom. You know what I'm saying, where the cam is, you know what I'm saying, for the chain. Right? You know what I'm saying? It's going to be an adventure, you know, taking that apart. But right now, you know what I'm saying, the next thing, right, is to take off the cylinder head bolts. Now this here is a page right out of the repair manual that I downloaded onto my phone as to the pattern of the cylinder head bolts. Right? See, so we start with these 4 in the middle and then work our way around. Now there's a small one, these 3 right here, right? Oops, here, let me back up. These 3 right here, this one, and this one. Alright, these 2 are regular sized bolts. This is a little one. Right, these bolts here hold the cylinder head down to the barrel, the cylinders. Right? So they all come up in a different pattern. Yep, here we go. Okay, so according to the diagram, this one right here is number 1. Four. Okay, now that would put this on the outside here at 5. 6. 7. The bottom one 8. 10. This one's number 9. This one's number 10. This one's number 11. The old trusty 10 millimeter. barely torqued down. What the heck? Okay, so here we are. Got all the nuts, bolts off, and everybody's off. Right, now yesterday I got a little bit ahead of myself, and the battery died in the camera, so right, I didn't get good video, so I put it all back together, right, to give a demonstration on what comes next. Right, and so now you pull the cam cover, right, off. This one's in pretty good shape actually. All the tappets look good. There's not any abnormal wear. All the actuations are good. Right, the inside of the case is pretty clean. Right, you know what I'm saying? Right, the tappets look good. Right, there ain't too much wear on them either. Right, so we're gonna set that to the side. Right now, yeah, I've already taken the cam out. Right, now it's quite a tricky little process. Right, you know what I'm saying? But you can do it, right? Right, but be mindful, at each end of the cam, there are 2 bearings. Right, they are a mat set. Right, so keep them together as a mat set. Right, now, lifting the chain, but once you got the bearings out, lifting the chain up off the cam gear is not that hard, you know what I'm saying? And then you gotta, right, you gotta carefully, you understand, this is what you want to do. If you don't intend on replacing the cam chain, you know what I'm saying, or in this case we just want to keep the cam chain up out of the crankcase until we can get to that, get there, right? I'm using a piece of leather here, one of them little leather strap things, tongs or whatever the hell it's called. Right. Then, right. Take it and lift it right here in the back of the motor where one of the motor mount bolt goes through. Right, just run it through the loop. And just, make a loose little knot for it right there. Now that way it keeps the chain up. Now you can just slide the cam out. Right, kind of slowly. You don't want to ding it up and scratch it and screw it all up. Gears. There we go. Take the cam out, set it down gently. Tighten up your little piece of whatever's holding up the cam chain. Right, now it's out of the way. Right, and you can check your valve springs. You look for any uneven wear or any bad stuff. In this case, you know what I'm saying, this all looks pretty normal. Right, for a bike, supposedly when the odometer, when I found it in the dirt, said it had 19,000 something miles on it. It looks like it's got about that much wear at the top. Right, now, this bike, this engine is laying over there in the dirt with no intake on it. Right, now I expect to find some debris and a bunch of other stuff down inside the 2 cylinders. I really do. Right. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not going to be too surprised if right? But if that's the case, you know what I'm saying? Then this motor, it's not really shot. We can still save it, right? I'm saying so from here, we get our little yellow friend, right? Give a couple of taps to break it loose. There we go. Be mindful. Don't let the chain fall in. They're going to peel out some slacks, pick it up. Like this. Holy crap. There's some rust and some guzz and some carbon deposits. Alright, this valve appears to be stuck open. Alright. Exhaust ports ain't too bad. It's pretty dirty. This bike was run hard for 19,000 miles. Alright, look at that. Sit down very carefully. Alright, okay, now the fluid that you see in here, can you see it? Ooh, that's pretty gnarly, huh? The fluid that you see here is Marble Mystery Oil, upper cylinder lubricant oil. Right, I poured this in through the spark plug holes myself months ago. Right, to try to, give it some lubrication, see if it was going to break through. Right, I expected it to be bad, but I didn't know it was going to be this bad. Right, there is all kinds of debris. Wow. This stuff right here. Oh, here, look at this. There's a leaf. Can you see it? It's a leaf from one of the sage bushes. What? Oh yeah. There's a little bit of rust on the inside of the number 2 cylinder. Right? Yeah, the sleeve is corroded. Right. And this one looks pretty good. It's just got some debris, maybe a little rust around the bottom of the ring. Right? You know what I'm saying? I mean, they're probably not, oh man, that's thick. They're not going up anymore, but they'll probably still go down. So let's get set up to clean this mess up. Right? And see what we got before we decide where we're going to go. Okay. Now, this is kind of important, guys. Right? Once you get the cylinder head off, right, some other stuff's going to come off with it. Namely, these bushings right here. Alright? There's 4 of them. Alright? And they have this little orange seal around them too. Right? Some of them, fit in. They're supposed to like that, Alright? Right? But you got these 4 bushings. Right? Then you got these 2. And then you have 4 of these, regular bushings. One goes here, one goes here. Right? These 2 are open. Now when you flip it over, right? These other 2 bushings, one goes right here. And one goes right here. Alright. Using upside down. Alright. And these when you flip it over, bing, these are the ones that center the cylinder head onto the barrels, onto the jugs. Right? So it's kind of mindful, right? You gotta keep track of all these bushings, right? Because because the holes are, the bolts are not as big as the holes, right? So what you want to do is, it doesn't matter which bushing goes in which hole at this point. So what matters is that you save all of the bushings, right? Because you know where they go. Right? Put them in a bag, label the bag, cylinder head, bushings, right? Right? Keep them separate, keep them safe, right? Throw them down in the pile with all the other bags, right? So, just be mindful when you're putting it back together, where the bushings go. What I did was I used my phone and I took a picture of it before I took it all apart. Look here, and here's my friend Jay Burns is like this. Here's an aside. There's the little leaf, part of the debris that came out of the number 2 cylinder. Alright, so we're turning our attention back to the, okay, this one is still, this one I cleaned out, I sucked out a little bit. I used the shop vac and sucked out a lot of the debris and the rust. I'm just going to scrape a little bit more and run it again. At this point, you know what I'm saying, what little tiny bit of damage I'm doing to the cylinder wall, that doesn't matter. If I'm lucky, I'll get it to hone out. If I'm not lucky, we'll end up buying a new set of jugs. So I just want to get it unfrozen so that I can separate the barrels from the block. See what's going on underneath. Because if this is the only problem, dude, we're still in the game. A lot of this is carbon, and it's nasty. This bike ran hard, dude. Ooh, scraped up some more skulls. Let's see what we got here. See, like all this is just carbon, liquefied carbon from the marble mystery oil, breaking it down. That's what a lot of it is. And there, yeah, there's some rust in there, but yeah. Clean it up some so I can figure out. See where the damn piston is. Like I said, it ain't going up anymore. Might be doubtful that it goes down. Oh, did you guys just see that? When the hose went funky, found some kind of a coin. Some kind of a coin spit out of this thing. What the heck is it? Let's see. 1949, no. Deutschland. German coin. Look at that. Popped out of the vacuum cleaner hose. Well, anyways. Okay. That concludes cylinder head removal from a 1979 xs650 Yamaha twin. Thank you.